Hello everyone, my name's Gav. Welcome to my little YouTube channel called Not Lost Honest. It is not regular uploads, but this is my first time talking to a camera, so I thought I'd give it a go, see what it's like, see how hard it really is being a YouTuber. That's not me by any stretch, but I'll give it a go. Today I'm going to do a quick video on fixing the RAM mount that I've got attached to my windscreen. I've actually got a large crack in it, which has come around because of the way that it sits on there. So I'll show you what I've got. Hang on a sec, move this camera around. Right, so this is the setup that I've got currently, which is the tablet sitting in the RAM holder onto the RAM suction mount here. The suction mounts work pretty well, but I find with heat underneath of it, after a while, the center part of it there heats up underneath and it falls off, and this has fallen off a couple of times while I've been driving, but it's actually put a rather large crack in the windscreen. I don't know if you can see that. It comes in through, down through here, and then up to the here. It's getting fixed this week, but before that I might fix it so it doesn't do it. What I've found is that when we're on a corrugated road or out four-wheel driving or something, it vibrates a lot. Not a great deal, depends where it's actually sitting at the time, but it'll vibrate. And if you see, you can actually put weight on that mount there, which sort of affects it as well, and it affects the windscreen, which I think is what's caused it. Righto, so the solution that I've come up with so far is to replace the windscreen mount and try and mount it to the dash. So I went to a spot here in Perth called Coast to Coast Mounts, I think that's what it's called, or Coastal Mounts. I'll put the link in the description if you remember. But I bought one of these to mount it to the dash. It actually should do the trick pretty good, but I also noticed there's actually 12 holes in here. I'm actually going to bolt it to the dash. I could screw it in, but I'm not confident that the weight of that Samsung tablet in that holder is going to hold with that, and it might just peel away the dash anyway. So I decided to put some bolts in, and then that'll sit up on this bad boy here, which is a small screwing mount, but it sits in this part here, comes out of it like so, like that, and you have to then take that out and from there like that, and then that sits up under there like so, and then you put your arm back on and away you go, and that's how you adjust it. But problem with this is you should be able to mount it all right, should be good. I was just thinking if I need to move it somewhere I might have to undo that, but I shouldn't have to. It should be working out all right. Right, so that's the idea. So this piece here cost me $18, and surprisingly this smallest piece here cost me 25 bucks. The advantages of this is it's a cheaper fix than, say, getting a HEMA HX2, whatever it is now, or a Garmin Overlander, which is, the $700+ or, Garmin Overlander is like $1,000. Something money I don't want to spend on that as well, so that should do it. So I've got some bolts, which are picked up from everyone's favourite hardware store, Bunnings, and these are these bad boys here, and they're just M6 by 16mm. I've got some M6 by 20mm as well, and the other thing I did is pick up some split washers to try and give it some protection against vibration. I couldn't see any lock nuts down there, so I put them on instead as well. Righto, so tools for this job that you're going to need, obviously the bits you're going to use, a drill, either this one or a good one like a Ryobi one, but I don't know if this is going to actually fit on the dash with the windscreen there, so hence why I got a smaller one. Might actually be worthwhile. Obviously some drill bits, your fixings is what you also need as well, so that should work. Right, so from here what I'm going to do is I need to take off the tablet mount itself from there, which will be which shouldn't no issues at all. That comes off really quickly and easily just by doing that and peeling that off. So that's problem solved. And I need to also remove the dash mat, and then I'm going to remove the stereo here. Toyota's awesome stereo, and then should be able to fix it up into here as well, which is really easy to do. So I'm going to film it as we go and see what happens. Hopefully I get it right first time. I'll let you know. Okay, so to remove the fascia here of the stereo, it's actually pretty easy. Just get a small thin screwdriver and just up underneath here, when I take it off I'll show you where it is. You just ply them off and then you just actually pull it off like so. I've already removed it. And then you just disconnect the connection here for your hazards. And if you've got a GXL, I don't know, I've got a Workmate, Toyota Land Cruiser, you disconnect the connection for your clock, etc. However, for any Workmate owners, if you actually have or can actually get your hands on a clock to fit into here, there's the wiring. All you need to do is get one and install it and cut it in. It looks pretty straightforward to cut it into that as well. It should be pretty straightforward, just cut it in and away you go. Right, so I actually don't think I need to remove that stereo. I reckon I might actually be able to fit the socket in there so you can actually see it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Put some light in it. So there's plenty of room there where I might be able to fit it in. I might be able to get the socket in there without actually having to remove the stereo, which is handy. Even though I need to upgrade that stereo at some point because it's bloody awful. Yeah, so I'm going to work out where this bad boy needs to go, like so, and then I'll do some marking with a texter and then drill a few holes and see how it go and screw it down. That's the plan. Let you know how I go after that. Good. Right, so that's getting caught up on one of these, up on this ridge here, for it, which is the stability part of it. On the ridge here, I don't know if you can see it. I'll just start to do that again so you can see. Right, the drill bit's getting caught up here on this ridge, which is causing a problem. Just as my battery dried as well, so I'll see how I go with the roving, yeah. Righto, there's 4 bolts down the front and 2 at the rear. It's actually pretty steady. It's not going anywhere at this point, which is great. I'm not too worried about these 2 here at the rear or putting one another here or there. It seems to be holding. Yeah, there's still a bit of flexion in here, but that's alright, that'll do the job. So now I'm just going to fit this bad boy on. What I do now, it's pretty simple and straightforward. I am doing this left-handed, so bear with me. Yeah, that'll tighten up nicely, and then I'll fit the tablet mount to it and position it where I want it, and I'll go from there. And then I've also started to put the stereo back in. I've got some bolts here and I need to screw back in there as well, which I'll do, and then cut a hole in my dash mat so it fits in there nicely. Other than that, it's starting to look pretty good. Righto, the stereo's back in. You want to make sure that you reconnect your hazards in there as well. Make sure you reconnect your hazards and just give it a test. As you can see, yeah, they're working sweet. Happy days. Hazards are important. If you have a GXL, make sure you reconnect your clock and so forth in there as well. Tuck your wires in. I'll do one-handed there. Tuck your wires away and then push that in on the bottom as well, like that. Happy days. And there you go. So that's the way. There's no more screws for there. And it's a nice fit. That stereo is going to get upgraded in the very near future. Right, so next thing is to fit the dash match back onto here, and then I will actually I might fit that tablet holder first and then show you what it looks like. Right, so that's the tablet holder back on there, nice and neat. It still moves around a bit. I just need to tighten up proper tight, but it's actually on there, which is good. Needs to be a bit tighter, but I still think I'll get a bit of vibration out of it when I'm driving, but at least I'm not putting pressure on the windscreen, which is what's probably attributed to the crack in it. But the other thing as well is I can still gain access to the hazards if I need to. I don't have a clock, so it's all good, but I still gain access to the hazards if I need to. So there you go. Next stop is the dash mat. Righto, so there you go. It's mounted in with the Explorer Traveller app there on the Samsung tablet, but it's pretty well mounted in there, if you can see that or not. Yeah, I hope so. But it looks good. The carpet sort of sits well on there, and it's what I've reefed on this. I almost thought about putting a spanner on it to get it even tighter, but there still will be some vibration in this, which is fine as it is. But I'm not too worried about that. This is not putting any pressure on that windscreen any longer, and I shouldn't crack another one. You know, I don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, so now all I'm going to do is clean up the old mess, other than that. But there you go. Let me know what you think, or if it's overkill at all on how many bolts I've actually put on that as well. It's probably taken me about just over an hour, to be honest. It took me that long because filming, chatted to my neighbour. Other than that, it's all good. Yeah, so there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and if you've got anybody else that's got any other options, let me know. I will stick, if I can, the part numbers in that description as well. Alright, cheers, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next time I come up with something to do. See ya.